There are new requirements for COVID exposure, testing, and quarantine for Oregon schools. Today was the first day of class since the Oregon Health Authority's new rules took effect.
It comes as school nurses at Portland Public Schools are criticizing how the district is handling the Omicron surge. Fox 12's Kendra Kent is live tonight to unpack the details for us, and she joins us. And Kendra, let's start off with those new rules.
Yeah, that's right. There is a lot to talk about here. Well, the Oregon Health Authority is relaxing some aspects of its reporting and contact tracing, saying it's trying to alleviate the pressure on the K-12 school system and better focus resources in instances where the virus is actually spreading. So starting today, OHA no longer considers it an instance of COVID exposure if the people or group in question are wearing masks. And schools are no longer having to report negative COVID tests to the Oregon Health Authority. And students and staff no longer have to quarantine if they are exposed to the virus if they have received all their COVID vaccines and boosters. Now, OHA says this should ease the burden and give nurses and other school leaders the ability to laser in on cases involving unmasked individuals. Now, before these new rules came out, nurses at Portland Public Schools had penned a letter to district leaders asking them to do more to protect students and staff during the Omicron surge. We're told tonight that those demands still stand. It's a letter asking Portland Public Schools to do better by students and staff during the height of the Omicron surge, signed by 36 school nurses, all who question the district's commitment to safety, resources, and leadership amid the pandemic.
We want families and communities to be clear about what the reality is in the school.
And nurses say the reality is this: a seemingly endless stream of teachers and students out ill with COVID-19, while the virus rapidly spreads among schools that don't have the proper equipment or manpower to keep the highly contagious Omicron variant at bay.
The lack of availability of tests, and because there's such a demand on tests, are there enough high-grade masks for students? I'm hearing that may not be true in each building.
Other concerns highlighted in the letter include crowded classrooms, closed windows, not enough HEPA filters, and even expired COVID tests. And one of the biggest issues, simply not enough nurses to track COVID exposures for contact tracing.
I know that nurses and teachers and school staff in general are feeling stretched, and they're feeling stretched too thin.
But at Chief Joseph Elementary,
from my perspective, I think they're doing a pretty good job.
It was a different tune Tuesday among parents and grandparents.
I don't feel as though he's unsafe here.
Vaccinated, boosted, and wearing masks, parent Jay Botel says his family isn't scared of Omicron, and avoiding online learning is just as crucial.
I think at their age, just having the social aspect of being at school is very important.
Open or not, nurses say the district needs to hire more nurses, listen to their concerns, and involve them in the creation of COVID protocols. And late this evening, we did hear back from Portland Public Schools. A lengthy statement from the chief of staff was posted on the district's website responding to the letter from nurses. Now, that statement says that 1/3 of the nurses listed on that letter don't even work for Portland Public Schools. The district also noted its response to COVID-19, including the hiring of more school nurses, spending millions of dollars on HEPA filters, and also keeping 100,000 N95 masks on hand. Now, this is just some of that statement. They also said that the usage of expired COVID-19 tests was in line with what guidelines were set by the Oregon Health Authority when these tests are so hard to come by at this time. Reporting live tonight in North Portland, Kendra Kent, Fox 12 Oregon.